وعلى آله وصحبه وسلم.
My sisters and my brothers, Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuhu. This is Imam Yahya Hindi, Director of Muslim Life here at Georgetown University. The month of Ramadan is in, it's amazing, it's wonderful. I wish the entire year could be Ramadan for the so many benefits that come with the month of Ramadan. This is one of a series of interviews and meetings with specialists to educate us about the depth of Ramadan. Ramadan is about social justice, and we have covered that topic. Ramadan is about mental health and mental wellness. We covered that. Ramadan allows us to dig deep into our souls, into our minds, into our hearts, to discover the best of who we are. And we discovered that and we spoke about that. Today, we are dealing with another avenue and a great lesson of Ramadan: self-care, eating healthy, taking care of yourself. This is one of the mandates of Islam, one of the mandates of Ramadan, to put us on a new track for self-care and eating healthy. We have with us Abe Al-Baba, who is one of the best one could choose nationwide to speak on this topic. Abe Al-Baba has actually trained well-known athletes in terms of fitness and taking care of themselves. He's a certified nutritionist. There's so much about him. If I were to start, it will take me the entire half an hour. I want to ask him to introduce himself to us. What is it that he would like us to know before we dig deep into Ramadan, eating healthy, and taking care of our bodies? Who are you, Ibrahim? Tell us more.
Thanks so much for having me. Assalamu alaikum. Ramadan Kareem. Thanks so much for having me. And yeah, just to go into it, right into it, I'm a neurosports performance specialist. So what the heck does that mean? That means I'm a trainer that uses applied neuroscience to get really fast results. I'm also a a licensed sports nutritionist. And the reason I get results really fast is because I take into account the brain. So I have athletes that come to me and they want to jump higher, grow stronger, whatever the case may be. And I have them do that within our first session. I have some athletes run faster within 10 minutes after doing a brain drill. They might jump 1 to 2 inches higher. Or I have what I like to call my office athletes or my students who just want to improve the mental performance. So attention, focus, decrease stress, things like that. So I give them drills that improve that. So basically all day, every day, a little Neuro 101, your brain all day, every day is trying to answer one question: am I going to die? How am I going to survive? And it basically answers that question based on the input it receives, makes a decision on that and interprets that information, then produces an output. I compare it to like if you're in a car and you're driving and it's foggy, you got crack in your windshield, you got mud on it, and based on all of that, your foot's going to be on that brake pedal. You know, it's not going to be on the gas pedal. So we'll call that the input on the windshield. So if it's a sunny day, clear skies, everything, your foot's going to be on the gas pedal. So I clear whatever's on the windshield, bad input, we'll call it, to produce better output. And our output is anything, and we'll go into it. That's why my company is called 3-in-1 Elite. It's 3 systems for every 1 elite athlete. And your brain is basically gathering that input information from your exteroception, so your sight, your hearing, your smell. That's about 150 million neural signals every second. Proprioception is how well you move. That's your awareness in space through your joints. And then what we're going to talk about today is the interoception, so how everything feels in the gut.
You were named by the Discover San Diego magazine as one of the San Diego's top trainers. You also are the author of a book called, I think, Fuel Your Performance. What an amazing title. Tell me about the training aspect of San Diego and tell us about the book.
Yeah, so in San Diego, I think I got that title just from doing, the weird drills. But at the end of the day, what matters most is the results. And I have some really real stories. One of my top ones is taking a young man. He had brain AVM. He was in a wheelchair for 2.5 years, kind of lost all hope. And I did some very simple stuff with him. And by our 5th session, he was walking without his wheelchair. And it's really cool to see him doing that. And basically, it's very simple stuff. And I think that's maybe something to do with it.
What about your book, Fuel Your Performance? And
Yeah.
how can people get it?
Yes, so they can go to my website, www.3in1elite.com. All the information is there. The title is purposely about performance, fuel your performance. So we want to operate at our highest levels possible. So I give you tools to figure out what works for your own unique body and unlocking your full potential. Because at the end of the day, I know a lot about working out, but that's 1 hour of your 24-hour day. It's what you do, the in between is more important.
Wonderful. Well, I hope that our viewers will be able to go on your website. Is it also available on Amazon or?
I do have it on Amazon as well.
Yeah, hopefully people.
Amazon, PayPal, whatever.
I hope people will get it because we have a lot to learn from you. Well, thank you for this, my friend. You grew up in North Carolina and now you live in California, from the East Coast to the West Coast, telling us about how to fuel our performance and live healthy.
Yeah.
The question I have for you, fasting is a very important practice in Islam, one of the pillars of Islam. What is in fasting that you think will make it important from your perspective?
The more I learn about science, the stronger I get to Islam, because all the practices that is preached in the Quran. So when we fast, we burn through our carbs, and your brain and body resort to a backup energy source, and so it's going to come from fat. And what happens is we start creating these ketones in the bloodstream. Those ketones help promote positive changes in our synapses that are important for learning, memory, concentration, and overall brain health. So there's many benefits. One of the ones I really love is giving our digestive system a break. And what that does is give us the ability to conserve energy a little bit better. It restores cells and detoxes all the vital organs that keeps us alive. There's many things that you can learn from fasting, like controlling your sugar cravings, decreasing your elevated inflammation that you might have. Obviously, self-control and teaching us how to manage and truly understand what an actual hunger signal is. Because in today's world, we're getting blasted with commercials and all these things that may not be the best, and they make us overeat. So this helps us tap into mindfulness and learning when we're actually hungry.
Wonderful. Thank you for this. No wonder that the Prophet, peace be with him, told us, if my ummah were to know the benefits of Ramadan, they would wish that the entire year is Ramadan with all of these benefits. It's amazing. Yeah, indeed. So what food or drinks should we break our fast on?
Well, I think our Prophet, peace be upon him, Muhammad, got it right? Just follow the even with all my science background, I mean, dates are still one of the best things to have because your sugar is so low and you want to spike it back up, but you want to spike it not too high, and dates are just such a great fruit to have when we're so depleted. They're going to get behind the fiber that we need to slow down that sugar spike. It has powerful antioxidants, vitamins and minerals, all these great things, followed by water. Water is essential to our life. It can dissolve and transport substances, begin chemical reactions, provide different minerals. I mean, it does so much. And one of the big things is it's going to help flush out those toxins that we're doing as we fast. We're detoxing, so we need to flush them out with the water. And I think also the salah, sorry not to cut you off, the salah after is going to help with the digestion. So we're actually supposed to have, correct me if I'm wrong, but date, water, and then it goes for salah, for maghrib, and then that actually preps the digestive system for the food to get some movement going.
for those of our audience who do not know that word, Maghrib prayer is the fourth prayer that comes after sunset.
Excellent.
Right.
That's when we break our fast.
Yeah. Would you recommend getting starting with cold water, hot water, sort of in between? Does it
Yeah.
matter?
In between, room temperature is best. And then when it comes to the actual foods we eat, we're depleted of everything. So you have to get a wide variety. So your complex carb, which is like bread, potato, but you have to get the right amounts. So don't overload. We need protein, whether it be animal-based protein or maybe beans for plant-based eating, as well as your fat. So that's coming from your olive oil. We love olive oil in our culture. Avocado, nut butter, things like that. Having a wide variety is key, but not overeating. That's a big issue in Ramadan. People overeat, so we still have to be mindful. And like the Prophet says, we want to fill our stomach into thirds, right? So a third for food, a third for water, and a third for air. And that just means you want to breathe and don't overstuff yourself.
Do you prefer, in some cultures, they break their fast on water and dates, then they wait for 2-3 hours? Or do you suggest after the prayer to go into the food?
Yeah, I think either way works. It's going to take a lot more mental power to withhold. But I think it's okay as long as you start with maybe something like a soup. So it's not as hard on the body. It's more easily digestible, but it's okay to go right in.
What about, soda drinks, diet or non-diet? Is that
Sure.
something you recommend in general, but also in Ramadan?
So we do need sugar, because we're depleted of glucose. So sure, you can get it from soda. Is it ideal? No, it's extra calories, and we have to make our calories count. And it's going to cause that blood sugar to spike too high. With fruits, you have the fiber that's going to control that sugar spike. So don't recommend that. Get the water, get the fruit. You're way better off.
Get away from the sodas, my friends. Get away from the sugary stuff. Be organic, eat healthy. Great. Well, we spoke about what we should do to break our fast. What about food or drinks we should not start our break of the fast with, or iftar?
Yeah, so like we all know, like the fast foods, the processed foods, the biggest thing is we want things that are nutrient rich, and these aren't nutrient rich. So when we fast, we have this detox that's happening. So when the fat breaks down, this is all where our body stores the toxins in those fat, and our liver stores a good amount of nutrients and needs these nutrients that we get from good food, like sulfur, glutathione, like from your cruciferous vegetables like broccoli, cauliflower, things like that. Your vitamin B, C, E, your fruits and vegetables, and these animal-based proteins. This is all going to help the liver do its job to detox the excess toxins that we now have from fasting. So if we don't give it those nutrients, it's not going to do its job of detoxing. So now we have toxin on top of toxin. So we don't want to do that.
Great. Well, thank you for this. I know Ramadan is not meant for us to lose weight. There are other means by which one could lose weight throughout the year. Ramadan is really meant to bring us closer to God, to ourselves, connect with the poor, self-control, all of these things. There's nothing bad also about losing weight, though we don't do it to lose weight.
Right.
Question people ask and over-consumed with.
Right.
I want to lose weight. Is there something that those who fast can do to lose weight in Ramadan?
100%. Again, think about the teaching, what we're learning when we're fasting. It's how to understand our true hunger signals. People who may need to lose weight are probably overeating. So use this opportunity to learn we want to count calories and all this. That's not necessary. A healthy brain will let you know how many calories you need. So use this to understand when you're actually hungry, and don't overeat when you break your fast. That's key. So be mindful. A third, right? Third for food, third for water, third for air. Let it breathe, and you'll realize, you know what? I don't need that food. As far as the workout wise, it's a good strategy. There's this thing called fasted cardio. So pick like a light intensity cardio, kind of maybe a walk outside is what I prefer, or like maybe a light bike ride. And when you're fasting, you're more prone to burn fat. So maybe in the morning, or if you're having suhoor pretty close, maybe wait till a little bit in the early afternoon. And nothing too intense, just going for a long walk or a bike ride, and that will help burn the fat.
Wow, that's good. Interesting. Well, that's how we can lose weight. But how can we maintain our weight while in Ramadan and after Ramadan?
Right. So this is like a lot for athletes too. I get that question. What happens is your stomach shrinks and you're not going to be eating enough, especially if you're still working out. So you have to prioritize getting in your calories in your stomach without feeling too full. A good strategy is like smoothies, protein shakes, getting in those extra calories that way. Prioritize your protein and your carbs. Got to prioritize, especially the protein, because when we go into, we burn through our carbs, we burn through our fat, and then we start pulling from our protein, which decreases our muscle. So to prevent that from happening, prioritize your protein.
Prioritize your protein. Okay. Then I guess after Ramadan, some people lose weight in Ramadan, but after Ramadan, they gain all of that back. Some people maintain their weight in Ramadan, but after Ramadan, either they go back or forth. We don't know what to do.
So the question is, how do we not yo-yo?
Yeah. Because most people yo-yo. I mean, go back and forth, and it's not good and it's not healthy, as you know.
Right. So I would say make sure, I hate to like keep coming back to it, but maintaining those true hunger cues, tap into them. Take what you learned during Ramadan and understand, hey, you know what? Like, just because it's breakfast time, just because it's lunchtime, doesn't mean I have to eat. Don't go off this habit of a time of day. Listen to your body and your brain and understand, hey, am I actually hungry at this time? Then okay, go ahead and eat. If you're not, then don't eat. There's nothing wrong with that. And it's tapping into not overeating. I have this in my book. I have this mindfulness fuel scan, and it's this spectrum of all these things that kind of make us overeat. And it's just like a little checklist. Like if you're not hydrated, a lot of people mistake hunger for thirst. You actually might just be thirsty and not hungry. So make sure you're hydrated, things like that.
Thank you. You touched on it earlier, the idea of working out and exercising. Anything more than what you said you would want our students or people who watch this to know about how do you work out, the best way to work out? You told us in the morning while fasting. What about after iftar or like midnight?
Right. So timing is key for a good workout, and it also depends what kind of workout. So if you want to just lose weight, in the morning or early afternoon, just going on that long walk. If you're doing things like more strength training, you're going to need energy for that. So maybe first thing in the morning, assuming you had suhoor, you got up and had breakfast before the sun rose, and timing it that way so you have energy. I recommend like strength training, maybe 4 sets of 8, something in that ballpark. If you do it at night, you could even break your fast at night, have your water and your dates, eat like maybe 40% full, go work out, have your whole workout, and then replenish back with your protein and carbs after that. So you kind of have a few options how to do it right. I would not recommend doing it middle of the afternoon, a high intensity kind of workout, or right before iftar, because you're completely depleted and you're more susceptible to injury. So that's a couple ideas. The type of workouts, moderate or hard strength training, you can do that at night when you got the energy to do it. In the mornings, you're going for more moderate, light intensity stuff. And after thought, you could do everything, but that only works if you don't have to get up early the next day. So maybe on the weekends, you know, making it count on the weekends when you could sleep in.
You know, Taraweeh, the prayer that Muslims do after the fifth prayer, Isha.
Yeah.
It is an intensive prayer and it's long, from half an hour to 3 hours. It depends on the community you attend. Exercising, you know, we thank God in words, we thank God in action by taking care of others, but also we thank God in the way we pray. God gave us, all of us. So when I'm prostrate, when I bow down, I'm using my back to thank God. I'm using my forehead to thank God. I'm using my arms to thank God. From a health perspective, from a fitness perspective, does the Taraweeh prayer allow us or give us the opportunity to lose weight, because in the way we move up and down?
Yeah, sure. We get a lot of stimulus during that. So going up to down is going to stimulate the vestibular system. That's your balance system. And a lot of people may have trouble with that. And so the repetitive movement, especially 5 times a day, as we do it, if not more, with all the many different ruqa'at, but it could stimulate that system and keep it healthy. As well as if you think about the way we pray, we open up our joints. When we open up our joints and create space in our joints, that's excellent information to the brain. So it's very healthy. So again, the more science I learn, the more the religion amazes me, because we're doing this 5 times a day. With Taraweeh, the only issue is at night, especially overseas, they're doing it all night, but then they can sleep all day. So be mindful of your sleep cycle and make sure that you're still getting adequate amount of sleep. 7 to 9 plus hours is the sweet spot.
Sleeping, I know in some cultures, they defeat the whole purpose of fasting. You are meant to go about your life. You are meant to go to work like you do usually and challenge yourself. If you sleep the whole day, what is really the benefit? You have not really learned the challenge.
I never liked that about overseas and how some kind of cultures do that. They just flip their schedule, and it defeats the whole purpose.
Indeed, indeed. So, but do you recommend, again, from the perspective of your own profession, that people take a nap during the day, or no? Just go about your life.
So very interesting. So my book, there's 3 pillars: hydrate, fuel, recover. And in the recovery section, I go into sleep. I researched a lot on sleep, and Dr. Walker, who researched for 20 plus years on sleep, found out that we are biphasic creatures, meaning we sleep our 7 to 9 plus hours of continuous sleep, and then followed by a mid-afternoon kind of light nap. So we're actually naturally supposed to have that. The problem is nowadays we have artificial light that keeps us up at night. We should be waking up with the kind of just how our prayer schedule is, sun up to and sun down. But because of artificial light, there's all these different things keeping us up in our circadian rhythm. That rhythm of how we sleep is kind of knocked off. So having some kind of routine is key. It's okay to have a nap, but I wouldn't suggest maybe one longer than 30 minutes. You know, sometimes that 10, 20-minute nap makes you feel amazing. And that's totally okay, especially in Ramadan, we're low on energy, and it might be the energy picker-upper that you need. But when we start going longer than 30 minutes and like an hour, 2 hours, then you're just kind of sluggish, and it's going to mess up your night sleeping routine, because you won't be able to sleep.
Wonderful. We're about to finish, but I have 2 simple questions, 2 simple big questions.
Yeah, right.
Yeah. You know, in general, how to maintain a healthy lifestyle in regard with food, dieting, eating, and exercising?
Yeah, it's like when you go to the doctor's office once a year, he's supposed to answer this question in 3 minutes. But at the end of the day, it's about consistency and frequency. So make small, good habits. just being Muslim, praying 5 times a day is some good movement. Keep up with that, but have strategies for when life happens. In my book, I reference being an FYP nutrition ninja. All right, this nutrition ninja always has good strategies to kind of stay healthy. So making sure your plate is colorful. That's one easy strategy. And take your palm for males, 2 palms of animal-based protein on your plate. For females, just 1. And just making sure you got that on your plate with your fruits and vegetables. But consistency and frequency, don't have the 0 or 100% mentality. 50% is way better than 0. And just build on it. Keep building on it.
That's wonderful. The last question that could take an hour to answer, but we need to answer in a minute and a half. What can we do while stressed out about exams and papers and jobs? This is now almost May. Our students are preparing for the exams and papers, graduation, looking for jobs, much anxiety and stress. What can you do? What can we do to, in terms of food, but also fitness, to help us deal with all of that stress?
Absolutely. I'm getting flashbacks from my school and all that anxiety, but the biggest thing is prioritizing. Make a list. What's most important? When it's easy that we get overwhelmed. I have so much to do, but keep a list. It makes your brain a little more relaxed, because at least all the thoughts and ideas live somewhere. And then prioritize it. What's most important, and just go one by one, knock it out. Another thing to prioritize is your sleep. It's very easy to all right, I'm just going to cram all night and study. It's way smarter to get your sleep and then continue the early the next morning. Your concentration will be better, your attention, your focus, all kinds of things. Another thing will be breathing. Breathing, just relax. I recommend, it's called box breathing. So 4-second inhale, 4-second pause, 4-second exhale, 4-second pause, and maybe do that for a couple cycles, maybe like 8 cycles. Stay hydrated, and then time your fruits and different foods. Just because we're doing mental performance, I call it the mental performance, it doesn't mean we're not burning calories. So definitely time your fruits whenever you need the energy. Before an exam, don't go in there under fueled. Fuel yourself. Fuel your performance, mental or physical, doesn't matter.
Well, thank you, Ibrahim Al-Baba, our guest of today. How we can eat healthy, drink healthy, exercise in a healthy way. How do we really maintain, as you said, fuel your performance? Our guest for the day was Ibrahim Al-Baba, native of North Carolina, who lives now in the West Coast in San Diego, named by the San Diego Discover San Diego magazine as one of the top trainers of the city. Certified nutritionist, the CEO of 3-in-1 Elite, who's very passionate about how to live a healthy lifestyle. My sisters and my brothers, I hope you enjoyed today's meeting and show. And we will continue to do more of this. Engage with our experts on how we can live what I call a halal lifestyle. Halal lifestyle is not only in the food you eat or don't eat. It's in the way you care for your mind, for your heart, for your soul, for your flesh, in the way you sleep, in the way you wake up, in the way you exercise. It's in the way you eat healthy, the time. We heard today about being balanced in time, balanced in what you eat, what you drink, balanced in what you consume, balanced in how you sleep and what you sleep. We heard about being moderate. We heard about the link between fast, prayer, and being healthy. We heard about maintaining good access to protein, to vegetable, to fruit, to sugar in the right way. We heard about eating, the eating patterns that we use to eat. I cannot be thankful enough for our guest today, and I know we will have him back to go in depth to much of these questions we asked him. Till we see you again, my sisters and my brothers, go enjoy the rest of Ramadan. Engage your soul. Find the time to get away from this crazy life, crazy world, so many demands. Get away from these doubts and worries and fears and connect with yourself. Take a moment to walk, to lose weight, but to also to lose or to get rid of that fear, of those doubts that undermine the peace of mind that you have, that undermine your mental wellness. In the month of Ramadan, we connect with God. In the month of Ramadan, we connect with our surroundings. In the month of Ramadan, we connect with the worst of us and the best of us, with the hope of reforming, changing, improving, upgrading, if you will, and moving forward. So hopefully, after the month of Ramadan, we would have come out much stronger and much better than we were when we started the month of Ramadan. Ramadan Kareem, Ramadan Mubarak. May God accept our ibadah and our worship. May God bring us together. May God shower us with His mercy and compassion. Allahumma Ameen. Ibrahim, thank you. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.
Thank you.
You're welcome.